Very citrusy. It's actually really good. I'm not always a fan of citrus IPAs, but this one has a very good taste to it.
It does. There's that three-legged dog that you heard about last week.
Two crafty dads.
All right. Hey, everyone. We are Two Crafty Dads. I am Joey.
I'm Shannon.
And we are back for episode 1 today, Shannon.
It's officially the first episode.
Officially, yes. We did our little teaser episode the other day. You got, little wet the whistle, if you would, or episode 0. Tell you a little bit about ourselves. But now we're back.
Yeah. Go from zero to hero, almost.
I think
Wanting
that's the
hero,
saying.
probably not
hey,
hero.
You got to walk before you can run. Episode 1 is our walk episode. So for all those who listened to episode 0, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Got a lot of good response from the first episode.
No complaints. No
complaints.
Nothing bad said to our faces.
We haven't been canceled yet, which is a good start. So 22 minutes into the first episode, we're good. We decided, you know what? We had so much fun doing it. A week later, we're going to come back and give the people what they're asking for.
Some are just clamoring for more.
Some are clamoring for more.
Don't know why.
Hey, we've got the magic touch, and we just want to share that with people. So we're back here for episode 1. We kind of have a rough outline of what we're going to do, but we're newbies still. We're winging this, and we're here. But the most important thing is that we have a new beer to try tonight.
We do.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about this, because this is something you picked up last night just for us.
I picked it up. I left work yesterday, and I went to Crooked Can, which is a brewery in Winter Garden, Florida. And it's actually, I picked this because we wanted to talk about some youth sports a little bit, and so this kind of has a history for me with sports. This brewery, it's located right next to a football field where my son used to play Pop Warner. And then also they have an IPA there called the High Stepper, which is my game day beer. It comes in a black, gold, and silver
What kind of game day are we talking about here?
We are talking...
Like when you're watching College Game Day on Saturdays? We
are talking the Pittsburgh Steelers. When they are playing, it is High Stepper in a black and gold can. It almost could, pass as an icy light, but tasting good. And, yeah.
Ugh. Icy Light.
Icy Light. Hey, do not knock the Icy Light. It is the brew of champions who are broke.
Okay, so I have a beer cap map that I keep in my house, and it's got 50 spaces in it. One for, relatively for 50 beers, you put 50 caps on there, but I want to do 50 beers from 50 states. I figured a little bit, unique. That way I try a beer from every state. I picked up Icy Light at Total Wine one day. I'm like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to try it. I'm going to put it on my wall for Pennsylvania. I had 2 steps of it, and I said, I can't, no. It's just not happening. I won't let Pennsylvania be represented by Icy Light.
I have seen you drink Bud Light and enjoy it, so I do not want to hear that you were given the thumbs down, cannot finish an Icy Light.
Yeah. Well, granted, this was a few years ago, and Icy Light isn't in my normal repertoire like Bud Light used to be. But, hey, when you need water... Bud Light, Mick Ultra, I'm fine with it. I'm not afraid to say it. And you, sir, drank a Bud Light not too long ago.
And there is evidence of me giving the thumbs down, and I did not finish that beer.
Well,
it was...
you're missing out.
$10 thrown away in good taste.
Yeah, concerts and beer, when you're going to big concerts and venues, you're not really getting a good beer selection. You're getting, here's a tall boy. It's 24 ounces, so you're getting 2 beers. That's $15 for a Bud Light, or $17 for a Mick Ultra.
I regretted it immediately.
Well, that's why we're not drinking Bud Light tonight. We are drinking, what is it called over there? You got the can right in front of you.
This is the Citrus Kicker Citrus IPA. Charming can, juicy contents. That's a quote from the can. I
thought you were talking about our podcast. I'm sorry. Juicy contents?
Juicy contents, yes, and charming cans. I don't
have charming cans. I know I need to lose a little bit of weight, but
yeah. So this is a 6.4%. It is the celebration of the rich history of the famed citrus industry in Winter Garden, Florida.
Yes, I think where our homes are now used to be citrus trees. I'm 99% positive that's what they used to be.
Yeah. So this is it's brewed with orange and grapefruit zest, allowing for a luscious infusion, promulgating nectarous absurdity. I don't know if I read that right, but
I'm going to take your words for
We're
it.
going to work with that.
I'm going to read the copyright date too, or are we
I'm
just
going
going
to
to
hand this off to you because there's
with
only
me.
one beer on this table right now, so I'm going to go grab a second beer so that you are not left out.
Oh, okay. What a guy.
And grab
I
another,
thought for a second you
grab
were
another
gonna have
glass.
to share it. Okay.
Because this is a 16-ounce can, and to me, if you get a 16-ounce can from a brewery, you do not drink it from the can.
Okay.
This needs to be poured into a glass. And so we've got I don't know what these glasses are called, but they are the can shaped glasses.
Oh, okay, yes.
You know,
yes. I think those are the ones that are supposed to be used for IPAs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
So I'm gonna grab another can, and I'm gonna grab another glass, and I'm gonna let you enjoy this citrus IPA with me.
Perfect.
So,
that sounds good. You go get that.
You just talk to all of our followers.
So, hey, to the one out there who's following, this is actually the perfect time while he's running away. Podcast is up almost everywhere you can possibly get your podcast subscriptions. Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. Anywhere you can find us, just search 2 Crafty Dads. We're there. Social media, look for us on Twitter, on Instagram. Search 2 Crafty Dads. Most importantly, though, now that we are officially out and we are on episode 1, we want you to subscribe to the podcast. Like over all of our stuff. It's going to help us out, and we want to get content from you as well. And look, he comes back just in time after I'm done pitching, because we're newbies. We forgot to pitch this stuff last week.
Like and subscribe. We're going to say that at the beginning so that it is out there. And then that way, you know, if you're listening now and you don't finish it, like some people that we have heard cannot make it through a full 30 minutes. I don't know why. It's only 30 minutes. But if you can't make it through the whole thing, at least like and subscribe at the beginning. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to remind you again. And if you've stuck around to the end, that means you like it. So go ahead and subscribe.
Exactly. There's no point not to at that point. And if you look at this can, we'll post a picture of this online. You could almost pass the logo if you dyed your beard black. It's got long enough, I think. I could see you wearing a hat like that. He kind of looks like he's wearing a monocle too. But enough about the can.
I think
beer.
he is wearing a monocle.
Yes, a monocled man picking oranges from
a monocled man in overalls.
Yes. What a time
That
to be
is
alive.
high class.
This is Florida, baby. All right, let's open this up. Here we go. And like Shannon says, he feels you have to pour this into a glass, so we'll be bougie like Shannon.
Yes.
So I don't know if you ever know this about Crooked Can. You know they have a second one in Ohio?
I did not know that.
Yes. So I got some time today. I went around and I did a little bit of a Googling of the Crooked Can, if you would. They have one in Hilliard, Ohio, just outside of Columbus. Couldn't find out why, though. I think that's very interesting to have one in Ohio and Florida.
Yeah. Now, I do know that if you go to the brewery in Winter Garden, it's in this little marketplace. They actually own, I think, the whole market, and they kind of rent it out. There's a bunch of different little eateries in there. Great place for the family. But at one end, they have like the actual brewery part, right? And they've got like 2 bars there that they'll serve you.
The best is they've got a beer window. And a lot of people don't realize that window's there, even though it's open in plain sight. Because when that line gets long inside, the beer window is usually
the window.
short.
I thought you meant like there's a window into the
like the brewing. Like
yeah. Because a lot of places have that, and so
I mean, there's glass.
I know
into
what
it,
you mean.
But,
Yeah, the line inside gets long, but yeah, just going out to that the walk through window to pick up a beer. Have you tried this yet?
Yes, that's my second sip.
Okay, I'm gonna.
So yeah,
I'm gonna
sorry,
give it a
I'm
taste.
starting ahead of you. Go ahead. Very citrusy. It's actually really good. I'm not always a fan of citrus IPAs, but this one has a very good taste to it.
I definitely taste the grapefruit in there.
Yes, you definitely taste the grapefruit. I taste that more than the orange.
But you know, something about a grapefruit beer, a grapefruit IPA. Well, when I think of grapefruit beers, I think of the Schaffenhofer.
And that's more of a Hefeweizen.
Yeah,
in fact, it is a Hefeweizen.
But
Very
first time I had that was at Disney.
I think that's where a lot of people have that first one.
Epcot,
In Germany,
you have it there, and you know, on a brutally hot day, you have that Schaffenhofer, and it's
perfect.
It's the most refreshing beer that you could have at that moment.
Well, you take another sip. One funny thing I was looking at when I was comparing the 2 breweries, they have the basic core beers. So the core beers of Crooked Can, you've got your High Stepper, your game day beer. In Florida, we have the Florida Sunshine Lager. That's probably my favorite of their three.
That's Aaron's favorite as well.
It's really good lager. And then they have the Cloud Chaser, which is their Hefeweizen. But what's funny, they're all named the same in Ohio, except for the lager. Because it would be kind of weird, I guess, if you named Florida Sunshine.
Oh, I thought
Brewery.
I thought they were all called like the same name. Like each beer, it was like their character, their mascot is McSwagger, I think is his actual name, because they have the beer, the McStagger, which is the double IPA. But I thought you were gonna say it's like the McSwagger Hefeweizen, the McSwagger IPA.
Like they just renamed.
They all had the same name over there, each together, not the same name as what we have here.
Yeah, so like their IPA there is the High Stepper.
No, right. I got you.
Okay.
I thought you were saying that their High Stepper and their Hefeweizen and their lager
were all the same name.
They had the same name. Like it's the Crooked Can Lager.
Yes.
You know?
That wouldn't be as fun.
No.
But what they call their lager instead of Florida Sunshine, and I don't understand this at all, but it's called the Ohio Heartland Lager. I guess maybe because it's the heartland of the Midwest. But yeah, the beautiful thing about that place, going back to where they are at Plant Street, is, like you said, it is family friendly. You can literally take your family, and we've done it numerous times, and sit outside on the patio, and then you can say, let's go get pizza. They have a mac and cheese booth. They've got a literal butcher shop in there.
Yes.
That is incredible. You can literally go and pick the steak right from the butcher's case.
You can spend a lot of money on food there.
Absolutely. And then when you're all done, after you've eaten and spent a lot of money, you can go get mini donuts for dessert, which are off the chain, and then you can go get a nice cup of coffee to end out your day.
You can. I got the donuts once. I'm not a big sweets guy, not a big donut fan.
This podcast is over.
It's just donuts just don't do it for me.
Really?
Because I guess donut is more of a dessert, right? So I wouldn't consider getting donuts for breakfast.
Why would you consider it a dessert over like a pastry though? Like I consider it like a pastry because you get the bread and it's just frosted.
Yeah, but that's like a dessert.
No.
You don't have a pastry for a meal.
You've never had breakfast pastries before or a brunch.
Is there meat on it?
No.
Then it's not a meal.
Oh my gosh. Carnivorous Shannon over here.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I will have.
You never had a croissant?
A ham and cheese.
Okay, but you've never
sausage,
had
egg, and.
Okay, but you've never had just like a croissant, like out and about.
Not as a meal. I'm
saying not as a
snack,
meal,
a dessert.
Okay, but if you have two of the croissants, then yeah, you can have it as a meal because it's double the bread.
It's still a dessert.
I'm Italian, so carb load.
It's like having 2 slices of cake.
Okay, what's the problem with that?
That's dessert. It's not a meal.
There's a whole other story about cake. Let me ask you this. I'll get on to this story because this just happened to me. We got a piece of cake the other day from Gideon's Bakery. Not the one at Disney because I'm not waiting 58 hours to get a piece of cake or a cookie.
Was this when our wives
This is when our
were
wives
there
were
together?
Yes.
Okay.
So Christy brought home a piece of key lime pie cake.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. I got home from work late last night and I started eating it. Well, the way they put it in the box is weird. They put it in a small box, but it's sideways, so you kind of have to eat it from the inside out. So I started eating from the inside out, leaving the frosting. But there's still a nice like chunk of cake left in there. And today when I get home from work, she's questioning my cake eating abilities, asking me why I left all the frosting on the cake. Is it wrong if you eat cake from the inside out and leave the frosting? I would have still eat the frosting with a little bit of cake on there.
Well, I mean...
But my wife just wants the cake. She's not a frosting person.
Oh, that's like Claire. Claire, we go to parties and they have... Or if we're making cupcakes, Claire always asks Aaron to leave 2 with no frosting.
Oh, so she's the cake person. See, Connor's the opposite. He wants the frosting and none of the cake. So maybe I should have gave Connor the frosting.
Well, you know what? When they're married, then...
They'll be the perfect... He'll be the frosting to her cupcake.
Yes. Well, I'm saying when they're serving each other, you just scoop off the icing for him, and she'll eat the cake.
There you go. See? Modern problems require modern solutions,
Yes.
and we're
Match
doing
made
this.
in a bakery.
Yes. So that's a little bit about Crooked Can. You have a topic you want to talk about today. So I'm going to let the microphone be yours, and we could talk about this together, but I know it's hot on your mind.
So, sports, youth sports. Did you play any sports growing up?
Yes, I played t-ball, or not t-ball, I'm sorry. I played baseball for basically until high school. And then I played soccer from probably about like 10 to high school and
Okay.
some roller hockey.
I was pegging you for a baseball player. I played soccer growing up, mainly. I did a little bit of baseball, but I played soccer up through middle school. And then I broke my leg playing, and then I kind of took a season off, and I just never went back. Right. So as a kid, I was a soccer player. My dad was my coach. Mm-hmm. He coached almost every team I was on, I believe.
That's how my dad was. My dad was actually forced into coaching soccer because no one would coach.
Okay.
And he was assistant coach for most of my baseball teams.
All right. And the reason I ask is because you and we coach our kids.
Yes.
And I just wonder how my dad put up with us sometimes. You know, like I think I was perfectly fine, obviously. You know, like I had some good teams too. Mm-hmm. But I wonder if the way sports run back then are different than now, right? Like so some of the leagues that we're in, we've got our Saturday morning league right now. Mm-hmm. Well, I've got it. You abandoned me.
True.
So like with this soccer league, we've been going there for a while. And Claire has done well, and we've brought her up through it. And you know, starting out, I did not coach her, right? Starting out in football with Rylan, I didn't coach him either. I was like, you know what? My dad always coached me, but I just don't feel like I should be out there coaching. I want him to learn from somebody else. I want her to learn from somebody else. I want them to learn how to be coached because I'm only going to take them so far.
No, agree. And that's how I was when Connor started playing it. I did not want to coach either because I figured he's going to listen to someone else a little bit more than he's going to listen to, his dad.
Right.
And he's going to take that information and more. And I got suckered in, actually bamboozled the first time I had to be a coach. They called my wife looking for coaches, asking if I would coach. And she goes, you got to ask him. So they in turn call me and say, we talked to your wife and she said you would coach. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. So I guess I'm forced into this. So when I called her, she's like, no, I told them to ask you. I said, oh, they bamboozled me. They cornered me. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I kind of fell into it. Also, starting out with Rylan playing flag football, his first season, I didn't coach, but his coaches that season decided that they're going to go to another league, try another league, and that's our Friday night league now, the more competitive one. And so they asked if we wanted to come with them. So I was like, yeah, we'll go with you guys. And for some reason on there, I put that I'd help coach. I don't remember doing that. But
you checked the wrong box by accident.
I guess so. And so they have this little combine the week before where everybody meets the commissioner of the league and you meet your coaches. And, so we kind of built our own team, or they kind of built their own team. And then all of a sudden they came up to me and was like, hey, Shannon, you're coaching, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I did put that on there. So,
Who, me? I did that? Nah.
I ended up on the sideline coaching football, and I never played football. But
that
I
was
ended
a
up...
sport I never played growing up either, other than in the streets.
I ended up splitting time with one of the coaches coaching defense. And I remember that first game I went out there, and we were playing this team who came from tackle football. They all played together, and they all practiced multiple times a week, and we're just kind of getting going. And I'm out there on defense for the first series, and I think they scored a touchdown on us in 2 plays, and I was lost. I was confused, and
I don't know what I'm doing. Were you flailing your arms like?
Yeah, I was like, all right, Jeff, you're going out there. I don't know what to do, but by the end of the season, I kind of had it down. I understood our defense and everything like that, and then I ended up just kind of being a coach on that team now for like 5 years, I guess it's been, and then I actually hopped on as an assistant for his Pop Warner team, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely didn't know what I was doing there because I never played tackle football either, so trying to teach these kids how to play tackle.
It's a whole different game.
Yeah.
Go from tackle to flag football. Completely different.
But
Whole different set of rules.
like your dad being a coach and my dad being a coach, I just felt like, okay, well, I'm his dad. I'm supposed to coach him, right?
Yeah, and it's fun to be out there. You feel like you get that little bit of a connection with your child while you're out there, even though they don't listen to you half the time. But
true. Moving on to Claire, she was playing soccer her first season. I didn't do anything with that. I let somebody else coach. And then the next season she was playing with a friend, and so I hopped in there, and that was with Derek. And I think that was the season that you came on as well.
Was that when I came on to substitute in one game? Derek was out, or was that maybe the
I don't
first
remember.
season
I
you
don't remember if
coached?
that was the first season or the second season.
It wasn't the first season. The first season I sat on the sidelines while you coached.
So the second season, Derek was gone 1 week, and I kind of stepped in. I never wanted to be a head coach. That's the thing. I don't think I ever wanted to be a head coach. I just wanted to help. And then so Derek was gone 1 week, and so I brought you on because you had the red shirt in your closet. And,
yes, I was prepared and ready to go.
Right. So you came in and coached, and we dominated that game.
Yeah, I think we won like 9-0.
Yeah,
in that soccer
game. It was amazing. Like, every kid scored like 2 or 3 goals apiece.
Felt good after the game. I should have retired at that point.
Yeah. So in that league, so Derek then moved on. He stopped playing or stopped coaching because his daughter moved on to something else. And then I became the head coach, and you kind of came in and helped me out. And I think that we have a couple kids who come back that we're friends with, but everybody else on the team I feel like has never seen a soccer ball.
Well, in this specific league is a very beginner's league.
But going against these other teams, it's like, hey, who doesn't know what they're doing at all? Let's give them to Shannon and Joey.
So, yeah, you feel like they're putting them with us.
Right.
To say, hey, you need to teach these kids how to play the game.
I feel like it's like, hey, these other coaches didn't want them. Can you take them? No, that I feel like
I don't want to say
sometimes, yeah. It's like we get
the land of misfit toys.
We've had like a couple of good kids, right?
We've had a few good kids, who didn't really know how to play the game, but were good enough athletes
and coachable
that you could do that. Then we've had some kids who are
not coachable.
The complete opposite end, where you just can't do anything.
And every season, it's like the kids don't come back. We get new kids. We got to start all over with them, right?
Yeah, it's not the team doesn't travel year to year.
Or at least that's what I thought until this season.
Dun, 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 dun.
So this season, I got 2 kids that I had previously that I didn't know previously.
Okay.
Right? And one has potential, and one has the potential to be a pain in my. So, I don't even.
I don't think the potential to be a pain in here is. I was going to say yes, and he was in a previous season, so he's back for a second season.
Right, and I don't know if they said, hey, they tolerated him. Let's ask for him again. So in this most recent game that we had one girl who got hurt right towards the end of the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm over on the sideline trying to help her out, get ice and everything like that. And I'm the only coach on the field now with this team. And
why is that? Sorry.
And this,
I couldn't resist.
This player that we're talking about,
teammate, yes,
comes running over to me. No, he doesn't come running over to me, but because he doesn't like to run. He comes to me while I'm trying to help this other girl, and he's like, "Hey, coach. This girl's crying and she's in pain. Hey, coach, was I the best today? Didn't I do good today? Was I the best today?"
Read the room, kid. Read the room.
Exactly. And it's this one just doesn't listen either. And you've been there, and we tell him, "Hey, I want you to play this position." No. It's like, all right, go sit on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't want to do this. Well, this is what we're telling to you. We're the coaches. This is your turn to listen to us because we're giving.
But I'm really good at this position. No, you're kind of not.
You think you are.
And we got to. That's just the promise. We got to be nice. Mm-hmm.
And like we said, this is a very beginner league, so every kid is playing every position throughout the year. So in soccer, every kid 1 week is playing goalie. They're playing defense. They're playing offense. We're moving them around consistently. It's not like we're playing in a rec league where, okay, you've got your good kids on offense. They're staying there, and you've got your good kids on defense. You're keeping them back there. This is a league where everyone's learning the game, so you're moving them consistently throughout the game, position to position. This one player only wants to play one thing, and if he doesn't get to play what he wants to play, it's the end of the world. No,
Exactly.
the dramatics. I feel you.
So,
And I feel bad that I laughed when you told me they were on your team, but then I kind of laughed. I said, ha.
I would just like to say, I am a Christian, and Jesus is working on me. But please let me know that he's working on this kid too, because it doesn't seem like he is sometimes, And
We're both Christian people here. Sometimes you question it. It's like, I know we're all being worked on at the same time, but why is this being put in front of me? What do I have to learn from this? And this is your test.
So there's that. But yeah, I get to talk to you, to Christy, and because you guys don't know anything about what's going on this season, right? And I'm sure Aaron is sitting there on the sideline texting and saying, "Guess what this kid did? Guess what this kid did?"
Yeah,
sometimes.
Erin has lost her field buddy for the day.
Yeah.
Well, one of them. Yeah. You feel better? You got that off your chest a little bit? Because we talked about this earlier, but you said, no, I'm saving it for the podcast.
Yeah, and I don't know if I got to vent to the full extent that I want to vent.
But hey, as long as that vent opened a little bit and you got some out, you feel a little bit better now?
Maybe.
It's out there. When you listen back to this.
The citrus kicker is helping a little bit too.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, another thing that I wanted to know. We're two dads. We're sharing stories, and we've had our coaching experiences together, both in soccer and in flag football. So I want to ask you, what is the most outrageous thing you've seen at one of our sporting events?
Ooh, outrageous? Like from a playing on the field standpoint?
Maybe a bizarre thing that you've seen? He's not prepared for this.
I'm not prepared for it, but I have to think back into the world. I mean, I've seen bizarre things that parents have done, present company included. We're not going to go down that road. Maybe on a later podcast.
This is present company?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to go down that road? We can go down the road.
We're good right now.
We can go down that road another day.
Okay. Parents. Well, glad you mentioned that, because I would like, and I got permission to tell about this. So Joey and I are coaching our team, who I feel like we get the bad news. We look like the bad news bears in reverse.
For our football team?
No, not our football team. I'm talking soccer team.
Okay.
So, but there's this one season, and we kind of had to figure it out towards the end of the season. But a couple of games in, we're losing, and we're down either 1 goal or 2 goals at the very end of the game. And Joey and I are both hockey fans.
Yes.
And so we huddle up and we say, okay,
we need to
pull
here.
the goalie. Mm-hmm. Our goalie was our best opportunity to score, but he was our best opportunity to stop goals too. So it's like, all right, we're gonna do this like hockey. We're gonna have him come play offense, and I'm gonna run alongside him, and I'm gonna say, okay, time to go back. So we're running up and down the field, right? And all of a sudden, I hear, "Where's the goalie?" And I looked at the sideline. I was like, I got it. The goalie's right with me.
We knew what we were doing.
What's going on? Where's the goalie?
You don't have a goalie.
And I'm like,
we know.
Honey, I got this. Mm-hmm. So that person was the wife, Erin, yelling at us. And we did it every single game. And I think the next game, she almost started yelling at it again.
I think the second game.
But then she
caught herself. Because we both at the time, I think you said it because you were closer. But when she kept saying it, I'm like, we know what we're doing.
Right.
Stop. Let us coach. Because, yes, in soccer, normally you don't see the goalie being pulled. It's not often, even in professional soccer. You may see it like in the World Cup, in the bigger games when you're down late. But for the most part, the goalie kind of just stays back there. And that was something, even at a younger age, when I used to play soccer, I knew. Going back to like when I was younger in the playoffs, same situation. We were down by a goal. We were in the championship, best of 3 series. We won the first game. Second game, we were down a goal with a few minutes left. My dad was a coach, and I went to him, and he goes, "You know what to do." So I, as a goalie, went up and played offense.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter if you lose by 2 goals. It doesn't matter if you lose by 3 goals.
Right.
But if you get that extra person up there who is able to give you an extra chance to score, that's all you need. When you look in the record books, they're not going to care if you lost by 4 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 7 goals, 1 goal. You still lost.
And these kids can't score from that far away.
No, absolutely. No.
Like this kid that we were trying to get to score a goal. So like he was our best opportunity to score, but most of the time he had a wide open net. He was 5 yards out, and he'd kick the ball and miss. Like it was,
Missed the wide open net, yeah.
all the time. Like this kid be on a breakaway, and we're like, yeah. Oh. Every time. So we started telling him to dribble into the goal because that's the only way he's going to make it.
Just keep dribbling until you can't dribble
Like they're
anymore.
not stopping you from dribbling it.
Like
so
Luis
just
from
keep
Mighty
going.
Ducks. You just keep going.
Yeah.
Then eventually, stop.
So, yeah, I mean, that's one of the funniest things that I've seen as far as parents go on the sideline, field-wise, like, and the kids. I was trying to think of, what's the craziest, what's the funniest.
When I was a coach, I had a lot of kids. When I coached Connor's 3-year-old soccer team, Connor exclusively and a couple other kids had more fun being the equipment managers, as I like to call them, for the games rather than actually play. Connor loved to set up the cones, take down the cones. Sometimes he would just sit on the field and watch the game play. And that was very entertaining. It was like, yeah, they're 3-year-olds. It's funny at that point. And It's like they're just going to do what they want to do, and you just kind of manage them. I don't remember anything like wow, I can't believe that happened. Like I was watching that happen on the field.
Football. So moving to football, and it's probably, I don't know if it's nice to laugh at your kid about this. Aaron's going to tell me, you're so mean. But Ryland's first season of Pop Warner.
It's tackle.
Yes, tackle football. He is the smallest kid out on the field. He played what was called a wing back. It's tight end / receiver / running back. I don't know
all the positions in one.
It was, hey, we're going to stick you here and not really use you. That is kind of what it was. You're
on the field, kid. Enjoy it.
We may have a play for you. So now Ryland, he's always game to go, right? Mm-hmm. So he's offense only, didn't know how to tackle anybody. He's tiny, and all of a sudden someone gets hurt while we're on defense. And he's like, put me in, coach. So out he goes.
Out he runs.
He's in there for, I think, 2 plays on defense. And the first time, the kid kind of knocks him over. Second time, he just gets trucked. And he comes off the field because it's like I think they may have scored a touchdown, or the hurt kid was going back in, but Ryan was coming out, and he's like, he hit me so hard.
He got right at the line. He got the old pushback.
He got nailed, and I mean, he shook it off and he went right back in,
Mm-hmm.
But
it's that first time. It was the first time he got hit.
This was the very first game, real contact that he got. He had some practice contact, but
it's
these
different
kids
than
were big,
yeah,
right? And
practice contact is always different than game contact.
But I'm proud of him because he was the kid. Hey, put me in. I don't care. I'll go. There's another time where they had him going at quarterback for some reason, and he doesn't even know why he went at quarterback because there were better options. He'll tell you that, but 2 quarterbacks got hurt and we needed somebody to snap the ball, and so he went out there twice, and I think he fumbled the snap once, and then the next time he got sacked. But once again, he came off the field probably limping, just because he was one of the smallest kids out there.
Yeah, even with minimal contact, he's still getting hit.
Yeah.
And he's not used to it.
Right. But as far as kids crying, so Joey and I have kind of a formula of coaching. It's I make the kids cry, Joey consoles them.
Yes, I'm on the side after Shannon yells at them. I come to them and I explain, he's not really yelling at you, but this is why he's raising his voice to you. And you're not really yelling at the kids, and you don't really make the kids cry. Let's put that out there.
No. So
the yell to cry ratio that Shannon has is very minimal on this.
I don't. So we had a game last season where we had one new person, and they were like brand new. And this wasn't me making them cry, but this kid came into the game having never played football. I don't think this kid had ever seen football.
Yeah, they never made it to a practice.
Didn't make it to a practice and came in and had to learn football in warm-ups and then go out there and play. And this child was so lost, and at the end was just in tears because
they didn't know what was happening.
Right.
They didn't know.
They were so overwhelmed.
It was so quick because the games happen quick in football. You're in, you're out. You're in, you're out. The plays are happening, and you got to get set. And I don't think they were ready. They didn't know what was going on. And by the end of it, it was just so overwhelming. It was like,
yeah,
okay, here they come. Here come the tears.
But, I have, when I'm out there coaching and it's moving fast, I get intense, I think, sometimes. And I scream at the kids. And I've told parents that, hey, I'm going to yell at your kids, but I'm going to yell at them out of love.
Yeah, it's not coming from a place of hate
right.
or a bad spot.
I was and if they cry, Joey will be right there for them.
Yep. And it's also a little bit harder because our kids are on the team, and our kids have friends on the team, and we see this in practice all the time. They sometimes think that, we don't get to hang out a lot. We're here. We can goof off, have a little bit of fun, but when we're practicing, I had to do this the other night. I practiced with our kids. I had to pull them aside and say, look, I know you through your friends. I know you don't get to see each other a lot, but when we're here, we're listening. I don't want you guys goofing around because we're here to teach you guys. We're here for you to learn the game. But if you're here, poking each other, laughing, giggling about what happened in school today, that's not what we're here for. We're here to practice. We're here to learn.
Right.
And I want you guys to pay attention.
Yeah, and some of the hardest kids to be on a team are the coach's kids.
Yeah. That's why sometimes it's easier not to coach the kids. But
right.
It's that double-edged sword. Yeah.
Right.
So we go back to square one, and it's like, at this point, we're like damned if we do and damned if we don't.
I had something else I wanted to say on our kids, but I don't remember what it is now.
We're not going to talk about our coaching record in football, though.
Well, no. We could. Because we've gotten better.
We've gotten better, yes.
We've coached 2 seasons together, and we've coached kids that have never played before.
Yes, our team that we put together is basically kids who have not played football.
It's a team of friends.
Yes.
For the most part. And so our first season, we went 0-6.
Yep. Winless.
But last season, we did not lose every single game.
We did not, no.
No. I think so. We
out of 6 games,
we lost our first 3 games. I think
we started 0-3.
We started 0-3, but then we started to turn things around, and we tied the next game.
We got a tie,
0-0.
Yep. It was the most intense 0-0 game I think I've ever seen in my life.
I believe that was their first scoreless tie game. I'm not positive, but we didn't just stop there.
No. Why do it once?
We came back next week.
No, it was the next week.
It was the following week, and we went out there and we balled. We balled hard.
And we were winning almost the whole game.
Right. And we were up by 6 points, right? And they got the ball, and they had
18 seconds left.
18,
20 seconds left in the game.
And they took off down the field, and we got this one kid super, super, super fast. And he took off after him, and he got that flag pulled.
And when you say super fast, you're not even describing it right. He was on the complete other side of the field when this play happened and chased the kid down. Basically like the 2-yard line. That's how fast this kid is.
Yeah. And he pulled the flag, and it's time to celebrate.
And Shannon thought it was over.
I run down the field. We won!
He
Yes!
thought the burden was off of our back.
I picked up the kid. I'm spinning him around. And next thing, the other team's hurrying down the field. And this is it's kindergarten through 2nd grade. And they had 18 seconds to start the previous play. And Joey heard the whistle blow saying, Joey, you thought that they signaled.
When the referee signaled, I thought his hands were waving in the air that he was saying, game is over.
Right.
But
I start the celebration like an idiot, and they hurry up to the line. Next thing you know, I'm trying to get these kids into position, and then they throw a touchdown.
So as I'm running up to the field, I hear the referee say, as he's waving his arms, 10 seconds. And as soon as I heard that, I turned to you and I said, get back on the field. There's still time left. Thinking about it now, I probably should have called the timeout that we had, but I didn't really think there was going to be a play.
I can't believe that they got the play off, but they got a touchdown to tie it up, and then
we intercepted the 2-point. The conversion.
We intercepted the conversion. So we ended up tying in back-to-back weeks. So now we're 0-3-2, and mind you, there is a team at this point that is 0-5. So we are not the worst team this season.
And we didn't get to play that team.
We go down in history as the only team to tie twice. See, last week I did tactfully. Now I can't do tie two teams. I don't know.
You can't do it. Yes,
I
it's the citrus IPA is getting to you.
Right.
We were the only team in the history of the league to tie 2 games in one season.
Yes, and we did it in back-to-back weeks.
In fashion.
And then we go out there the next week, and we didn't have our quarterback the next week.
And we were playing the best team in the league.
The best team, and we got
curb stomped.
So we went 0-4-2.
So our career football coaching record is 0-10-2 as we enter our third flag football season.
I would like to point out, if you get a tie, that counts as half win.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
our winning percentage is not 0.
So our winning percentage is that of a team that went 1-5.
That is very true. Yep, 2 ties count as 1 win.
2 ties equal 1 win.
Just ask the Detroit Lions. I mean, they know what ties are all about.
So the Steelers, unfortunately.
Yes. The Cowboys just know about losing.
But this season, we're going to win some games.
We are. And we got a really good shot at making the playoffs this year.
We do. Because
it's a 5-team league and 4 teams make the playoffs.
We just have to be better than 1 team.
Yes.
Which we accomplished that last season.
Yep.
Technically, our record was better than, I think I looked, 6 teams in the entire league, all age groups. So
and we didn't even have to win a game.
We didn't even have to win 1 game. So the team that went 0-6 last season is the only team that we did not get to play.
Yes, that's convenient. Hopefully they're back through the season. But we don't know. All the team names are different. They change every season.
Except for ours. So going back to Crooked Can. You mentioned last week that we went to a brewery together at the beginning of our friendship. This is where it was.
Yep, this is where it all started.
Like I said, this was right next to where my son played football. It was our only brewery back then, really.
Oh, yeah. When we first met, that was the only brewery in town. Like I said, now we've got 2 that have opened and a third one on the way.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else on your mind? I know I've got other notes, but nothing that's really pertinent.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the Debbie Downer.
One of the things with coaching that I've come to enjoy, what I like about it, even though I didn't want to do it, you know, I didn't really want to be a coach, but how kids look at you change, right?
Yeah.
So there's one kid that was on our team, our 0-6 team, right? Who I knew his mom. And so I was just that guy Shannon, right? But once I became his coach for a season, anytime he sees me now, I'm not Mr. Shannon. I'm, hey, Coach Shannon.
You're Coach Shannon.
Hey, I'm getting better at football. Hey, look at this. I can throw. I can catch. Blah, blah, blah. Like, he's so excited to see me because I'm coach.
Yes.
Right? And just once you become a kid's coach, you're always their coach.
It's true. That is one of the most rewarding parts of being a coach is you are the one that are teaching them how to play something. And they may not know anything about it, but
and you may not either.
And but as long as you play it off well enough, teach them, and they have fun and do it, you're making that impact on the kid. And that's really why I do it. I love making that impact and watching them grow. It's great. I mean, just like you said, we haven't been the best football team, but to watch us from the first season to where we are now,
right?
We're 100 times better than we were 3 seasons ago. We'll get that win eventually, but just watching the kids grow and the kids learn how to play, that's the best part. That's the most rewarding part to me.
And they keep coming back, so
we're doing something right. They must like us, yes.
You know, hopefully same thing goes for this podcast.
Absolutely. And
hopefully you guys will come back. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. You can find us everywhere podcasts are: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor. Pop us into your web browser. We'll pop up. Heck, if you even don't know where to find it, but you're listening to this somehow, email me. We'll find it. And if you have something you want us to talk about, or maybe a comment on any of this stuff, we haven't mentioned this yet.
Our
email address, yes.
Yeah.
2craftydads@gmail.com. Send it to us. It comes right to Shannon and I. If you got a topic, something you want us to talk about, maybe there's a beer we haven't tried that you think we should check out, shoot us an email. Twitter, Instagram. We need to get a Facebook up. That's probably our next step. All of it's at 2craftydads.
Share us with your friends. Just remember, a podcast is like a beer. It's better with a friend.
And that's why we do this together. So cheers. Thank you so much for listening, Shannon. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. We're going to do a cheers here.
Same to you.
Cheers. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be back soon.
All right, so this morning, Rylan, I saw him. I was getting ready to leave for work. He's like, "Hey, Dad, you recording your podcast tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, what's it about?" I was like, "We're going to talk about sports probably." He's like, "Oh, you can tell him about track since I got track tonight?" And I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe. He's like, "You can tell him how I won?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why not?" I was like, "Because I'm not going to lie on the podcast."
Ooh.
And he's like, "What?" And so,
Shots fired early.
Yeah. So he didn't win. So
It happened.
we didn't bring it up. But no, he did good. He came in, I think, fourth in the mile, and fifth or sixth in the 800, or vice versa, one of the two.
Can run a lot faster than you and I, that's for sure.
Yeah, he did 6:21 mile.
Ugh.
And half mile was like 3:03, 3:04.
Wow. It's incredible.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay.
He's just dying to be on it.
Maybe we can do a little annex at the end.
Maybe.